Just heard Trump saying he's working on a new truth serum. Let's hope it's less orange than his hair. That is shocking. Recently, I've been developing an AI product, essentially as a solo founder for an AI company. And so, I've been using ChatGPT, Claude, and a bunch of other AIs to help me, basically like little employees. So today I'm going to show you using ChatGPT, Claude, Hugging Face, and Render how you can go from an idea to a fully fledged AI website in like 30 minutes. So let's get into it. First things first is what can we help with? So I'm thinking, why don't we create a tweet generator? I want to make a tweet generator website. Help me as a product manager write up an MVP. So a minimum viable product, essentially like the smallest chunk of products you could possibly have, which proves the problem solving that it does. So objective, target audience, content creators, blah blah blah. Core features, AI for tweet generation. Input something, and then it generates 3 to 5 tweet suggestions with tone sliders. Clean, blah blah blah. Free trial, social sharing, post MV tech stack. Right, so let's just focus first on the core features. So for the core features, why don't we slim it down and have a text input field? Oh, text input field. Text input field. 3 tone buttons. Say professional, casual, funny, and the generate button. Then the output is generated and displayed with a copy button. What do you think? So I'm just thinking, because let's try and trim it down as small as possible. Let's not worry about free trials and stuff. Let's just make the app, get the app working, then we can consider this kind of stuff. Now, this is from an idea that I'm having, so I can say to it, but if you don't actually know what idea you want to do or you don't know how you want it to look, just keep asking it back what it thinks and just even write stuff like as a consultant, as a freelancer, whatever. So slim down core features, right? So that looks good. So let's go back up. Instead of this timeline, we want to launch it in like 30 minutes. So instead, let's go back up and look at the tech stack. So I think the simplest tech stack that we could make is, let's say we don't want, let's say for tech stack, which is just the technologies we're going to use. For front end, let's use vanilla.js, so JavaScript. This is your interactions with the website, the kind of animation-y stuff, or basically how your website talks to the backend, which talks to the server or does all the stuff. So we have vanilla.js, HTML, and CSS. So HTML is the bare bones. What's the content? CSS is how does it look? And JavaScript is then how does it actually function? How does it do stuff? So we'll use that. For backend, let's go with Flask because that's what I've been using recently. AI model, let's do Hugging Face API since it's free. Just something I know, but you could just ask it. You say, I want this to be completely free. What do I do? And then you can say render for the hosting, as again, it's free. Render.com for hosting, as again, it's free. However, we will test test it locally because we want to run the website on our own personal machines first. So if you think about it, websites have to run somewhere. So we'll run it on our website first, locally, so no one can get to except us. Then we'll put it on render.com and then you could share it with your friends, for example. So, right, cool. So now that it's updated its memory with this, let's say, as a team of engineers, or as a senior, as a lead engineer, write me the index.html and the app.py, please. Boom. So we'll start writing out now. So first it'll write the HTML. So whilst it's writing this up. Let's go here. And so, if you don't have this, first download it. Visual Studio Code, it's where you're going to do all of your code editing. So, download Visual Studio Code. Then once you've downloaded that, this will be the home screen, and you click on Open Folder. Then from there, you open a new folder, and this is where you're going to keep your files. So I've created a folder called AI App. So let's open that. And from here, let's open it up. I already have a couple of files. Let me get rid of this, and this, and this, and that, and delete that so that it's nice and clean, just like yours will be. So the first thing I want to do is create our files. So we want an app.py, so it's a Python file. And then we want an index.html, and that's our web file. So essentially, it's our front end, and this is our back end file. Flask, by the way, is a library which hosts a library or service which is used to host websites using Python. So we have this here. That's our HTML. Let's copy this. See, because all I've given it is this. If I copy, now let me paste it in here. Then if we go back, if I go out of that, it's just used the same canvas twice, which it sometimes does. That's why I copied it first. And then in here, let me copy this one. This is our back end. And we'll go into the app and we'll paste that in here. Cool. So very nice. So that's cool. Got that now. So the first thing that we're missing, we can see from the code, is this Hugging Face API URL. So let's go to Hugging Face and we'll create an API key. Essentially, for reference. Oh yeah. Beta testers wanted. I forgot that was there. I'm actually creating an AI startup and I need beta testers. I want only like 5 to 20 people. So if you've seen this video and it's still new, so it's been uploaded in the past, say 7 to 14 days, reach out to me on LinkedIn or comment below, and you can maybe beta test my app before it launches, because I need some feedback. So anyway, what I was going to show you here was what? API. So Hugging Face, we have Hugging Face. We want to send a prompt to Hugging Face. Hugging Face is a repository for a bunch of models. So like your ChatGPT models, for example, or Bard, like your Google models, whatever, right? So anyway, you would send them a prompt saying do this, like ChatGPT, and it will send it back to our app. Which is how we're going to use Hugging Face. But the way that Hugging Face knows that it's you is because you give it this API key, and then that allows you to interact with Hugging Face, which interacts with this, which brings you back the information, essentially. So let's go to Hugging Face. So we'll just Google it, Hugging Face API. And so it's this serverless inference API, which is free. So if we go to the top link, and then up the top right, I'm already logged in, but if you log in, and then you click on this top right and go down to access tokens. From access tokens, we want to create a new token. From here, we'll give it a name. So let's call it tweet gen. And we want it to make calls to the serverless inference API. And scroll down, create the token, and copy this. So this is our token, our key. Don't share this with anybody because then they can use it. Imagine it like the key to your house, except it's your key to Hugging Face's house. So you could paste it in here. This is really bad practice. Instead of doing this, what you can do is you can actually add it into your computer and then do it that way. But we'll just add it in here for now. Don't do this if you're posting it to GitHub. So we've added in the key. Now we need to decide on our model. So if we come back here again, let's go to let me see, free serverless inference Hugging Face models. Let's click on here. What have we got? Inference Playground. Let's go to that. This is where we can actually interact with some models. So for here, what would be a good idea? Let's do Tiny Llama. Let's see, generate me a tweet that's funny based on data engineering. Then let's just run that. Object. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Let's see, reset token. Yeah, let's put a new token. So that was an old token. Let's copy this one. Submit. Let me try something else. Right, so that needs a pro one. Let me see. But Google, but this one. There we go. Perfect. Right, so let's just use that gamma. What's it? Gemma 11 life hack on Mac. If you screenshot something, open it up as a preview, you can then highlight it, copy the text. Now I can paste that in like this. Boom. Right, so we have our API key and our Hugging Face URL. I shall briefly talk you through the code. How long do we have? Over now, like 20 minutes. So, to talk you through the code, we have HTML. HTML is the bare bones. Within HTML, you have CSS and JavaScript. So, this entire file is technically HTML. Kind of. HTML comes in this kind of format. So, we have here the main body of the HTML, which is actually, let me see, literally just this here. So this next part is the script. So this is your HTML bare bones. It says tweet generator, and then it has text area for you to input some text, and then tone buttons, and then a div for your output, because then this will be generated by AI and injected in here using JavaScript. And then the copy button, so you can copy it to your clipboard. So that's what it looks like as bare bones. This is then the coloring and etc. The styling, it's called. So style, that's your CSS. All that. Oops, sorry. All that good looking stuff. And in the bottom here, this is your script. This is your JavaScript, which allows you to interact from the back end to the front end. And this here has a function for generating the tweet and for copying to the clipboard. So as you can see here, it's getting the output. So document, which is this document, get element by ID output. If we scroll up, this is div ID equals output. So it's getting that there, getting the text content, trimming it. If there's nothing there, that's copy. Otherwise, navigator, clipboard, write text. So it says, basically, it copies it to your clipboard. And before that, we have to generate the tweet. Now that's a function we have, generate tweet. And what this does is it fetches, basically it goes to your URL / generate. It basically then goes to the backend and calls a generate function. So how does it do that? Well, let's go to the backend and we'll see. So in the backend, we have this app.root / generate. So this is where, when you go to your URL / generate, where does it route you to? Well, it routes you to this function. And this function is called generate tweet. And essentially what it does is that it creates a payload, which it then sends to the Hugging Face URL. Then it gets a response and it returns that response. And it has this try and accept just to be like, if there's an error, it catches the error. Now, one thing I've noticed here is that there is no app.root / and then nothing. Because, for instance, when you hit a URL, you'll hit it with no / blah, blah, blah. It will just be nothing. And so you need that initial root. And the way that we can get it is we go to ChatGPT and we can say, locally, I've updated the model and API key. However, will this actually run as there's no like route for that to go to the index.html? Because if you see in the Python code, it's not referring to the .html at all, and so basically it's going to be saying, yeah, you're right. So there it's here, app root, blah blah blah. Let's copy that, and I'll just paste it in here. And then we need render template, and render template How do we get that? Because you can see there's a squiggle under it, which means that we don't have it, or there's a problem. So you can see that up the top we have that from render template. Now I could have just copy and pasted this whole thing, but then I'd have to refill in these. And you don't really want to share your API key into ChatGPT because then it will then train its model possibly using it. But what you could do is you could copy and paste like this entire thing and then just cut out a chunk in the middle. That's what I sometimes do with information like that. But anyway, up top, render template. And now this is part of the libraries from Flask. So Flask is like a library or a package which has these methods or functions which you can then call. So basically there's big chunks of text like this or code within some Flask package which you're then referencing when you write things like render template. It then will go into Flask and find the render template function, which will look something like this, and then it will run that code. But it means that you can just use someone else's code. Genius. As they say, standing on the shoulders of giants. So let me go back here and I'll say, right, cool, all looks okay. How do I run it now? Because this all looks good, but how do we actually get it to run? So you first have to install the dependencies using pip. So pip install Flask request. Let's copy that. For me, it's not working. For you, it might not work actually as well. So what you can do here is to use Python, for example. If you're on Mac like me, you can use something called Homebrew. It's a package manager. Essentially, you can then just write in your command line brew install Python, and it'll install Python for you instead of you having to go to the Python website and download it from there. Which means that then you can just write like brew upgrade or whatever it is, and it will upgrade your Python package. And the reason it's so powerful is because then you can download a bunch of languages, and instead of having to go to all their websites and update it or download it, you can just do it all through the command line. If you're on Windows, you can use something like Chocolatey instead. Chocolatey package manager. It's the exact same type of thing. So anyway, we have this installed, or should have, brew install Python. Save that. Yep, already installed. I can't remember. Don't know what's happened to my pip, but we don't have time because we're on a time crunch. We've got 12 minutes to sort this out. I'll say, should we see? I don't know how you would word this, but basically, when you write pip install Flask requests, the problem is that it installs them into your entire machine. If I want to make this portable, which is essentially like if I want to run it on my machine and someone else's machine, you can use things like Docker, but you can also, when it's just Python, use something like a Python environment. So I'll show you how to do that just now. We can write Python 3, and then if we do -m venv, this will create a virtual environment, and it will name it venv. Well, just to avoid confusion, let me just call it env. And now within here, when we do this pip install, it will install it only within this virtual environment. But better yet, what we can do is to automate this. Instead of having to remember, we can create a requirements.txt file. Let's copy that in here. And what we're wanting to do is within here, you would just have Flask and requests. And instead of your pip install Flask request, you do -r, then requirements. And that will install it. But first, actually, we've created the virtual environment. We have to get into it. So source env binary activate, and now we're inside. As you can see from this here, we're in the virtual environment, and from in here, let's install the requirements. And there we go. So the requirements are now installed, and what this means then is that for anyone who wants to install any of these Python packages, they can just install this entire requirements file. And this might seem trivial because there's only 2, but sometimes you get up to like 10, 20, whatever it may be. This comes in really handy. Additionally, it then means that this text file is always here, so you don't have to remember to write them all down. So we have that all good. Directory app templates and index. So let's move index into templates because this is the standard structure for this web development. And then we want to run the Flask app. So for you, it might be Python. For me, it's Python 3. Python 3 app. And there we go. It started it on our local machine, which is 127001. Let's copy that and then open it up here. It's on port 5000. So, tweet generator, enter your topic or idea. Let's write data engineering and we'll do professional. Then how did I generate it? See, is anything happening? Oh, yes. So, a quick brief on this here. Get is what happens when it gets something. So, it's getting an HTTP page. It's getting this page here. Post is actually, it seems like we're getting something here, but we're not. We're posting something because we are sending information. So, we're posting information. As we can see on app, we see the methods post because we're sending this to the AI. So we see it's purple here. That normally means something's kind of going ski with. And the way we can check that is on here. If we right click and go to inspect, we can then go into console and we can see that there's an error here. So we write something in, click something, and there you go. So we can see that the problem or the error here is at this index 104, which is this fetch generate. And so what we can just do is if we just click on that, click copy, and we'll just send it to ChatGPT. We'll say, seems to be an error. What's the solution? We'll do that. On click, function missing or mismatched. So let's see. Verify the function name. So on click, generate tweet. Make sure that it says generate tweet professional. So let's go to the code and see. Go to index.html. Control F, generate tweet professional. So that looks fine. And I think it will be saying make sure that in app here it's also called generate tweet. Oh, generate. Nah, right. So generate tweet generates this tweet. But it doesn't look to, let me see. Aha, yes, fetch generate. This is generate, which then does this, which then does this. Right, okay, so that looks fine. Function logic ensures script loads properly. So place the script tag at the bottom of the body to wrap it DOM. Place the script tag at the bottom of the body or wrap it in this to ensure it loads the DOM is ready. Let me see. Index, script. There is no DOM thing here. Like this. I'm not sure. Update index.html. Oh, there you go. It's telling me what to do. Cool. Right, so script. It's telling me to change that. And V. And then if you highlight all this and you tab, it will move it in so that it's all online, so it's easier to read. Right, this here we don't need because we already have it above. So let's remove that. Save. Now if we go back here to the tweet generator, let's refresh. And then write something in. Casual. Still getting that same error at 104 generate. Alright, let me see. So let's say still getting the error. Here's my code. And then attach, upload your files. So what we'll do is we'll add the index.html. And then we shall add the app.py, open, and then send that. Send both of them. Let's get out of that. Right, so this just seems to rise because render template expects index templates. Templates. So I do have it like that, do I not? Index.html templates. Have I spelled it wrong? Templates. Templates. That should be fine. Let me copy this and we'll test the API locally. And actually, no, let me think for a moment. So ensure correct direct structure. That is correct. Update Flask debugging. Since that logic look correct from the Flask pointing, verify browser console. Right. So what we're going to do instead is go to Claude, because Claude is, dare I say, better, especially for code and stuff like that. So what we can do here is we'll say the exact same thing. So go to ChatGPT. We'll say that. Let's go up. We'll copy that. We'll say this. Then go down, down, down. And we'll copy and paste this in. Copy paste. And then we will copy paste this in here. Enter. Let's see what Claude's saying. Wonder what it's saying. Added the missing copy to clipboard function that was referenced. Flashbacking, let's create and make sure this local dependencies, that's fine. Right, so let's copy the contents of here and we'll paste it into here. And then we'll refresh this. Let's write something in. Data engineering professional. No, still giving us this error. So internal server error. That's weird. Let's see. So fetch, generate. Let's see. Still getting error. This, enter. Let's see what they say. Oh, I've only got 5 minutes. Come on, man. Updated Flask app with error handling. Because I wonder, we haven't really tested this. So I do wonder if that's, but surely not. So anyway, right, let's copy this. We'll go back here to the app. Paste that in. Don't know why it's let's remove that. There we go. Right, so we've pasted the generate in. Let's save it again. Let's run it. We'll write something funny. Internal server error. So on this click, goes to here, fetch, generate, and there's some error here. If we come here, what's it saying? Model not found. There we go, because we have some debugging now. API response, model not found. Right, so that's a bit better. Let's go back here. Where are we going? Not playground. Claude. We'll say it's saying model not found. I actually do know how to fix this, but I'll see if Claude knows. No, we're not using GPT-2 because it gives you the craziest response ever. Because we're on GPT 1, but it went like 2, 3, 4, 1. And GPT-2 just makes loads of stuff up. So what we can do instead is on this page here, we can go to the model page. And from here, if we go to deploy, inference, boom, tells you how to use it. So let's copy this and we'll say update the backend to use this model. Here's how Hugging Face say to use it. So as you can see here also whilst I'm doing this is that one of the biggest takeaways is like how is it, they say AI is going to take your job, right? Unless they have AIs that are so much better than we're aware, then the amount of human intervention that's required is quite staggering. So anyway, here let's I'm gonna keep that main route here. Or has it done it? Oh no, it's done it. Right, that's cool. Fair enough. So let's control A and V. Right, so now it's saying from Hugging Face. So let's go to requirements, and we need to add Hugging Face in. And we can remove requests, so it's no longer there. What we'll do is we'll say pip install -r requirements. There we go. Now Python 3 app. Run it again. Let's go to the tweet gen, refresh, go to console. We'll say data engineering, professional. Boom! Aha! We have it. The future is here. Data engineers booming, creating new roles like blah blah blah. Oh, insert industry tag. Hey, it's not bad. It's working. Something else cool, which Claude is actually really good at, is the UI. So I'd say nice. That works. Now on the HTML front, can you make it look better? We'll just use better. Normally you're better to try and give it actual adjectives or ideas like stylized, like a modern blah blah app or whatever, right? But anyway, there we go. That looks better. So you can see Claude's pretty cool. We have preview and code. Let's go to code. We'll copy that. And then we'll go to our code here, index. Oops. We'll command A, command A, command V, command S to save it. Then we'll come back over here, refresh. Boom. What we write? Cloud engineering. I wonder if it'll figure it out from that. Sitting here coding, fighting legs. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Very nice. So now what we can do is let's put this on GitHub. So if you code, you'll have a GitHub account. If you don't, make one. Make a GitHub account, and from here, what we're going to do is click the plus. Let's create a new repo, and we'll call it tweet generator. That's fine. We'll make it private because we're going to put an API key in here, which is bad practice. But anyway, and then I'll make it public by the time this video. Let's just make it public. Doesn't matter. Oh no, private until this key's away, because bots creep all over the internet looking for API keys to steal. I'm telling you, for real. Create repo. Now from here, we want to upload an existing file, and we can drag and drop or choose them. We'll click choose AI app. And now from here, we want to upload all of this. Click open. Yeah, I thought it would only find those. Choose your files, and we'll get the other stuff too. So let's go here. No, not env, we don't need that, but we do need requirements. Oh no, we have requirements. It's getting all flustered because we're running out of time. Index, and then we'll commit changes. So we'll push these up to the cloud, up to GitHub. And now this index was originally within a folder, so we can just go on it, 3 dots up top. No, edit this file. There we go. And from here, we want to do templates, /, and then it creates a directory. Commit the changes directly to main. Bad practice, but it's fine. It's just for me. Go back to tweet generator. Cool. So everything's now here. Right, so next we need to go to render.com, and this is where we're going to host our website for free. They'll give us a free URL and everything, which is pretty cool. And so from here, you want to go to dashboard and sign in. Now, I recommend signing in via your GitHub because we're going to use that GitHub repo that we've made. Let's add a new project. We want to do it as a web service. And this service we will connect tweet generator. Click connect. And then it will connect our source code. From here, main, blah, 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 that's fine. Source, that's fine. So start command, how do you want to start it? So we have this build command, which will install our requirements automatically. But as for the start command, we want to do Python app.py, and that will start it. So for professional use, we have these, but for hobby projects, we'll just use that, because that'll be fine. And it'll only spin up when we need it. Environment variables, this is where you would add in to remove this API key. which I suppose I could show you now. So on ChatGPT, let's go back here and we'll say I want my API key as an variable out, and it will tell me. So it will change the code. So you'll see up here, our API key will now be this os.getEnv. And so if we come back here, let's do this, and we'll call it Hugging Face API key equals OS, and so we'll have to import OS. You can see it's not there, but also it would tell us here. And so for the way for us to actually load the variable or set it is this export, and then we do Hugging Face equals and then your actual key. So you would have like this here. See, and you would paste that into the command line. Actually, not there, but in the command line, press enter, and then it would automatically be in here. And what that means is we could then put this in. Oops. In here, not as a string, but just a variable. And then this would get that from your computer's environment, so from your operating system basically, and pull it in here. And it means that then this is no longer in code, which is good practice. So what we can do is if we go back to render, I'll paste it in here, and it's automatically detected it because I had that export, which is cool. Cool. And then you just click deploy web service. Now for reference, the GitHub, this isn't synced with this, so these changes don't go up, which is frustrating. But the way to actually do it is code, and then you can clone this, but you can ask ChatGPT and it will tell you how to clone it. So we'll just leave it as is, but that's something you can try at home. And then we'll click deploy web service. And there we go. So awaiting build logs. We'll see what happens here. Cloning, checking it out, using Python 3.11. So this here basically is this terminal that we have, except it's on this render.com. And so you can see it's given us this URL, tweet generator on render.com. So if we click here to copy it, so it's successfully built. Now it's deploying. So let's open this up in the meantime. We'll paste it up in here, and it will just kind of go like this, and then it might just say can't find it or whatever until this is finished deploying. Now because this is the free plan, it won't be up. It basically spins down, so it stops using your resources if you're inactive, and you have not much space. So if you wanted to do any cool, exciting stuff on the app, you'd have to upgrade. But let's see how long it will take to deploy. Hopefully not too long. And there we go. Running Python. Bam! So it's up. There we go. Running on here. If you go here, it will work only because I'm running it here actually in code. If I cancel that, Control C, then this will have disappeared. There you go. And so now this is what I was meaning when it will do cool stuff on render. So render will realign the ports or remap them, but it will be at this website. So if we click on that, give it a second. Can take a minute to be fair, but when it comes up, it will be up. And whilst this is happening, I'll give you another little snippet of cool info, is that you can actually get free domain names. So if I was to do like tweetgenai.com, I wonder if that's available. There you go, tweetgenai.co.uk. Click on, oh, no email, just added. Proceed to basket. No proxy, that's fine. Proceed to basket. None of these. Proceed to basket, please. There you go, completely free. And so what we can then do is create an account. Right, thank you for your order. Set to a team for validation. Right, that'll be because I already have another account, and you only get a free URL for your first one. But anyway, as for this here, docs and specifying a port. Am I supposed to maybe not specify a port? So what we can do now is let's go to ChatGPT. We'll say when I run on render, get this error. I know why it is. It's because you're not supposed to run Flask like that when it's for the internet. There we go. Yeah, we run it like this here. So let's just go straight to GitHub because this is where the code's getting pulled now. And we can just edit the files directly here. It's not good practice, you should clone it, but just for ease and simplicity, what we can do is, let's go to this app.py, and then we'll edit it here. And we'll go to this if main, and what we want to do is change that here for this. So basically, it's running on 0000, which is the internet, not local. So if we commit these changes, commit. And if we go back to render, we'll go to events. From here, you can see your deployments. So on the right hand side, you can see this loader here. And so we can click here to deploy it, or we can click here to see the commit, which is the update to the code in GitHub. So as you can see, it's here. Let's cancel that. We'll click on deploy. And you can see it's deployed. But again, I am making an AI startup, an actual one, not this one, an actual one in the background. If you're interested in beta testing it, do let me know. And if you want to see how to deploy this on Azure and AWS, somewhere, cloud, or just more tutorials, do let me know, because I'm starting to get interested in AI again, which is cool. So deploying, hopefully won't be long. Let me see, I wonder if this is going to work yet. No. So I don't get my custom URL. At least not yet. We might. We'll wait and see. Running Python app. OS is not defined. Oh, I didn't import OS. Go back here. This is why you should just copy and paste the entire thing from ChatGPT. Because up top, import OS, and I missed it. But that's fine. And then commit the changes, and it will do the same thing again. Events. See this, no one's deploying. That was a failed one. Deploy. And we're just doing the same kind of stuff again. But the good thing about this kind of debugging that's happening live is you're able to see how to actually debug it live. Because if you're going to use this as a tutorial to build your own product, your own project, you need to know how to, interact with the hurdles to overcome them. So build successful, that's cool. Let's now deploy the app. Let's open this with URL up. Build successful. Come on, deploy, deploy, deploy. I think the reason it takes so long is because I'm on the free one. Because obviously I'm not paying for resources, so it's trying to allocate them for me. Right, so running on address. Boom, there we go. So it should work. Let me hit the URL and see. Services live. Boom! The website is up. Haha. So let's write something in. We'll write that data look on YouTube / Luke J Burn on LinkedIn. Let's do something funny about him. Today, data look on YouTube are spotted arguing about optimal syntax for conditional statements. AI doesn't know that we're both. Let's do Trump. Something professional about Trump. I'm going to provide political commentary. Casual. Just heard Trump saying he's working on a new truth serum. Let's hope it's less orange than his hair. That is shocking. Anyway, there you go. That was all made using AI in like 45 minutes, realistically. maybe 40. So there you go. There's a power of AI. And then you could, if you wanted, just go to like, instead of this, if you wanted to just buy a domain instead of all this faff, because I do use names.com because it's free, because it was free. But I mean, your best bet is to go some like Namecheap or daddy.com, GoDaddy or something. And then like tweet generator using AI, and then it'll give me some URL, and I'll show you how to put that into render. Tweetgen.at. I like tweetgen AI. That was sufficient. .co.uk. You can buy it for 6-7 quid. Then if you come back over here, and so you have your workspace, right? Then you have your projects. If we go to settings, within settings, this is where you would change stuff. And what you can change is the URL. So down here, custom domains, you can add a custom domain, and then update the DNS configurations such that your custom domain then points to this here. So boom, that's how to do an AI app in 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. If you have anything you want me to cover, because I've been looking at how to create APIs and host them on AWS and stuff. I'm really just getting the hang of using AI to make stuff, which is cool and exciting. So anyway, I know it's changed from my normal data engineering, but I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, take care, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.